Hey guys, it's JD, Elevator Outdoors. Um, so episode one here, under the new logo or new name. So if y'all were following me before, you know that I was with Drawback Outdoors until I found out that there was another really cool guy, but another company, Drawback Outdoors. And, things happen. So I had to change names and I kind of took a step back from the podcast world for a little while. I had some other personal things going on here at the house. But yeah, brought Elevarch back on and Elevarch Outdoors, and today we're going to talk about um, a really cool story from October 6th. It was a really good hunt for me on public. I ended up getting a little 6 pointer buck. He didn't score much. He might have scored 74 and 4/8, I believe. Um, but needless to say, the story behind him, and his name is Duces, and there's a reason why his name is Duces, and I'll get into that in a little bit. But for right now, I'm going to go over my bow setup, my saddle setup, my platform, all that kind of jazz. So without further ado, let's get right into it. Um, so this is the Panther Platform Quick Climber. Some of y'all may have already been following me and know that I run this, but I'm just going to go over it real quick. It only weighs 5.8 pounds. It's 19 inches wide by 11 inches deep. It's got the welded on foot stirrups right here, so you don't have to worry about a little, bungee cord behind your heel kind of deal. It comes with a 3-step aider. Now, this is a consumable item on this platform. You can replace this once it starts to wear and tear, because it will. It's just a nylon strap. Also, your band here, the standard one that comes with it is good for anywhere from an 8 to 18-inch tree. All you do is pull this little thing out, little detent right here, and you can slide this up and down for your adjustments. Take it all the way out. It's already got a factory bend in it. That way it helps to get it around the tree and be able to grab it on the other side instead of having to, play that game of trying to reach around the tree and grab your, cable or rope or strap or whatever you're using on your climber. But that essentially is what this is a bottom half of a climber that's been shortened down a lot. You put your feet in it just like you would a normal climber, and you just start going up. And once you're in position of your hunting height where you want to be, what you can do then is actually just take this center bar here and just go up, put it up against the tree, take your Versa button. It comes with it comes with one of those self-cinching straps. It goes around the tree, and then you can camp this down just like a locker, just like a lock-on or a standard saddle platform, and cam it down. And then at that point, it completely locks to the tree. And like if you've ever tried to saddle hunt or turn around in a climbing platform or a climber, this bottom platform wants to walk around a lot. With this, the way that it works with this center post, and when you cam it down and cam it and lock it into place, this thing is completely locked. I've stood on these sides right here. I've jumped on these sides, and this amount of movement right here you see in the video is more than it does in the tree. This thing does not move at all. The other thing I like about it is this hole right here in the middle is for your heel of your foot to go in. That way you can actually pivot and spin all the way around just like you would on a platform. But you're not having to carry in 3 or 4 sticks. You're not having to carry in multiple different, ropes to be able to attach each stick to the tree. It's just the simplicity of this thing is unreal. And I'm not standing on a 6-inch platform. This one is 19 inches wide by 11 inches deep. There is tons of room to stand on this thing, and I absolutely love it. And if you're ever at this kind of angle and you start to get any foot fatigue or anything like that, all you got to do is literally stand on the sides of this, and it brings your ankle pressure and your hip pressure. It changes it completely. That way you're not having to change your bridge angle so much. You can just change the angle of your feet, and it is night and day. The first hunt I had with one of these, I stood in the saddle for 13 hours, and I never once had a problem with it. It was absolutely amazing. I love this thing to death. And if you get a long enough tether, you can and if you have one of those rappelling devices, you can actually just bring this thing back down, undo your strap around the tree that's holding the center post with the Versa button, undo it, just angle this down and rappel down the entire tree with this thing on it. And the way that this center post works, when you lock it around a tree, and if you have a long, like you do me, if you have a long enough rope or tether, I should say, you can actually walk down the tree you can put your feet on the tree and walk down below this and take these out and move your band. Move your band while you're still hooked to the tree and get this to go up and over limbs. So people worry about being able to get up and over limbs with these. You can do it with no problem at all. So again, it's the Panther platform, quick climber. Right now, I think they're retailing for about $450. But everything you get with it is just unmatched comfortability, unmatched, ease of use, and also carrying this in just this one thing versus carrying a platform and sticks and all this other kind of stuff. You just don't have to do it. So that is without a doubt one of the biggest selling points for me. I absolutely love that thing. So that's the Panther platforms. And then what else do we got to go over? Bow spider. Y'all can see that. I do have one. I'll show you here. I've got two different pucks. I've got one puck on my bag. I can just clip it on my bag when I walk in. And also this is clipped on my bag as well. Make sure you have a bag that's big enough to support all of your gear, all your camera equipment, all of your platforms, your sticks, whatever you're using. Make sure you have a bag that's comfortable, that also has, a chest strap or a waist strap to take all the load off of your shoulders. It helps tremendously. Like I said, my bag with all my gear plus my platform and carrying my bow on it, my bag weighs almost, 20 pounds with all of that stuff. So, I mean, you're walking back with 20 pounds, almost a mile and a half back in the woods. Make sure you're going to be comfortable because you don't want to be huffing and puffing by the time you get to the tree or by the time you get to the truck, if you don't have a successful, hunt, because we know you're going to be huffing and puffing, dragging a deer out. So just make it easier on yourself. But yeah, the bow spider is absolutely amazing. Shout out to Paul, who I ended up winning a giveaway and got one from him. On Instagram, I got the hat and I got a puck, and I went ahead and bought another puck. That way I don't have to transfer that one puck between my car and my bag. I've got, one around the headrest. That way I can just put it on the back of my seat, and hang the bow up that way. That way it's not rattling around, just laying in the back seat or in the trunk or anything like that. So I did that. But yeah, let's take a little coffee break real quick. And now we will go over the bow. I got last year, or right before season, I think, I had a extra sight, one of those, real expensive Ultra View sights. And one of my buddies, Cage Spalding with Ruthless Archery, I ended up trading him the sight for a bow that he had. It's an older bow. It's 14 years old, but I love it. It's still a tried and true bow. A lot of people still use it to this day. As you know, the Matthews Z7 is what I use. They usually come in a camo or black, and that's about it. I rocked the camo for a while, but as of yesterday, 2 days ago, I started the process, but yesterday it was complete and done and finished. But I did change it up. I went with a battleship gray, kind of like the Hoyts have, that gray color on the riser, but still kept the camo limbs. I've got the blue. Mine had Matthews, when they came out with them, had different accessory colors, like their harmonic dampeners that were built into the riser and the string stop. They either came in red or blue, I believe. And I know you can get aftermarket ones, but mine came with the blue. So I got the blue strings. I've got, what are they? They are the new ones, the ABB launch series, the expensive series. So I got those in a blue and gray color. So what I did with the bow, I believe it worked out really well because it's got the blue accents. with the dampeners. It's got the blue accent with the string stop. It's got the blue strings. But now I've got the camo limbs and the gray riser, and I think it turned out great. That gray really offsets with that wood grip that those things come in. So that's what I'm rocking right now. Go ahead and grab it down off my rack here. This is what I got. Like I said, I think it turned out really well. That's my bow spotter there. But I'm just running a 12-inch stabilizer in the front, and that's all I'm running as far as that goes. I am running the True Glow Carbon XS. The carbon sight is extremely light. These bows typically by themselves are stupid light, but once you put everything on it, everybody knows a bow's going to weigh a lot once it has everything on it. So I wanted to keep the weight down, and I wanted to keep it simple because this is just a hunting setup. It's not a target setup or anything. Some of y'all that know me know that I used to run a competition series in the ASA. I had a really long, 38-inch axle to axle darting competition bow that had a huge sight on it, all this, 30-inch stabilizers in the front, 15-inch stabilizer in the back, a whole bunch of damn weights. So it was, a 10-pound bow by the time it was all said and done. So with all the accessories that are on it, I wanted to still keep it simple because this is just a hunting bow. I just got the standard 4-pin or 5-pin. I'm sorry, it is a 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, it's a 5-pin. 5-pin sight because when I'm hunting, I gap shoot. I don't want to be doing the dial in, and all that kind of stuff, or one single pin like I would for a target setup. It's just one more thing to go wrong, one more thing to forget in the heat of the moment. If it's deer comes in, or squirrel, I've squirrel hunted with this thing too. Whatever I'm shooting at, critter wise. If it comes in at medium yardage between 25 or 35 or something like that, I can just gap shoot. So it's easier for me that way in a hunting situation, just to run a, multiple pin sight versus a single pin sight. But my arrow setup is, Easton Axis 5mm. I am running my own wraps. My wife runs like a vinyl cutting and designing, business that she started. So I've got plenty of vinyl here. So I just cut my own wraps and use different colors. But for right now, I got a couple white ones with the white because I love white on white. It really helps you as far as tracking and seeing what kind of, pass throughs you get. If you do get a pass through, it shows, what color the blood is, dark blood, light blood, bubbles, it just helps. Gut shots, they turn green, they turn yellow. So it just helps out understanding what kind of shot you made once you walk up on the arrow. But Christmas is in town, around the corner. So my wife had some little Christmassy, colored wraps, or vinyl. So I cut them down and put some wraps on there. I got my little Christmas lights on the nocks down here. I was running an all white nock with these arrows, but since I went with the green on here for a little Christmas light effect, I decided just to go ahead and run them all green. Lighted nocks. When I'm out here in the yard shooting around, I've played around with lighted nocks. Excuse me. Filming wise, lighted nocks are better for filming, and I understand that. But my arrow set up and what works best out of this bow and how I got this one set up, I don't want the extra weight. I want more FOC. So I'm not running a lighted nock just for that one reason alone. But that's the bow. And I showed you the platform already. There's not really a whole bunch to go over as far as what's in my bag. Everybody carries what they want to carry in their own bag. I bring my camera, I bring my rattle, little, what the hell do you call it? Rattle bag, I guess. That little green silicone bag you can get at Walmart with the plastic antlers in it. So I got that. I've got, my nose down scents, cover scents that I've got. I've got my bully buck. I've got my calm down, a whole bunch of different scents that I carry with me depending on how I feel that day or what the area is doing, how I want to change it up every time I go. Because I mainly hunt this year. Starting as of October 6th, I am mainly hunting public from now on. and we'll get into that story later, but I absolutely love public land hunting now. I used to hunt right back here behind the house. I got a spot I got permission on, door knocking, and I got 20 acres permission back there. And I love it. I love that spot. I can feed. I got a feeder I built back there. I can just walk down from the house, about a mile and a half away from the house, just a quick little walk and go hunting. And I love it. But I started hunting public this year and I got bit by the public bug and I absolutely love it. So everybody's got different things they put in their bag. And like I said, depending on how I feel and where I'm at that day, I may change the cover scent up, just for that. For me, I'm not one that really believes in a whole bunch of scent control. And I just really don't see all the hype in it because everybody wants to put a different scent or cover their own human scent. Well, you got to breathe and deer are going to smell your breath. And I smoke. And I smoke while I'm hunting. I do. I'm just going to be completely honest about it. Every year for the past 3 years, I've completely tagged out. And here in Georgia, we get 12 tags. I've tagged out every single year. And every single one of those has been either while I'm smoking a cigarette or 10 to 15 minutes after or before I light up a cigarette. So cover scents for me as covering up me and my smell is, irrelevant in my book. And that's just my opinion, how I feel. You laugh at me all you want to, but I've had good luck and success with it over the past 3 years, so I'm not going to change it. But I will put out some scent and stuff like that. If I'm more conscious on how little I smoke while I'm out there, I will use some buck pea and stuff like that and put it on the ground around my tree where I'm at. And it definitely helps. But let's go over the saddle real quick, and then because the saddle, I actually, instead of going with a manufacturer, $150, $200 for a saddle manufacturer, I ended up getting a sit drag. Some of you may know what that is, some of you may not, but I ended up getting a sit drag for $20 and a heavy duty sewing machine that I had around the house, which now is broken, so I can't make any more. But once I get that, rectified, I can make more saddles. If y'all want me to, let me know. Hit me up in the comments or DM me or something. But we'll go over my saddle, and then after that, we'll get into the story of Duces, and y'all are gonna love that story. Okay, so here's my saddle, and if I stand up, I may lose you, but we'll try. Yeah, you'll lose my head a little bit, but that's okay. I know you don't want to look at me anyways. So this is the sit drag that I made. Very simple, as you can see. Get this thing untwisted here. Simple little sit drag. That's all it is. They're about 7 inches wide. But like I said, it fits perfect. It does the job that I need it to. I integrated so this part right here is the sit drag. And like I said, you can see it's about 7 or 8 inches wide, so it holds my skinny little butt just fine. But what I did, it already comes with these loops right here for your bridge already in it. But all I did was these loops right here that go around a belt. This is what I sewed in. Okay. So I grabbed a good utility belt. This one in particular is just slip over buckle. I know y'all can probably hear that already, but it's just a Velcro. That's all it is right there. And then my saddle is on. I did sew in on the back side of the saddle. Let's see if I can show you. Right here, I did sew in my leg straps. And I sewed in the buckle right here. Goes around just like a normal saddle, okay? So now I'm a saddle hunter. I got my tree diaper on. We're ready to go out in the woods. All right. What I'm running here is, you can see the logo, Panther Platforms. This is one of their small bags. On my right side is where I've got my strap for locking in on the platform, that center post that I showed y'all. That's what goes around the Versa button. I got that on one side. On this side right here, I've got my bridge. Comes around, it stays. I keep it on this one all the time. And I just clip it in on this one, and there's my bridge. I run a Kong duck on both my bridge and my tether. All I gotta do is tighten that, and it's good to go. If I need to loosen it, you just push that one and pull it back, and it loosens. Okay, everything, just one-handed operation is how I like it. And on the left side, this one is their rappel rope bag. It is a lot longer, as you can tell. It's for your lineman's belt or your rappel rope or anything like that. But that's what I've got my tether in. I've got a 10-foot tether and hang it up there. I can go up and down. I got 10 foot worth of movement with that thing. It also has a Kong duck on it as well. And I'm running the oval carabiners. There's a lot more free floating movement with it. But yeah, so this one, like I said, my tether is running a Kong duck. So again, one-handed operation, just slide it up. No problems with that there. So that's my saddle setup. It completely works for me. Sit drags are rated for 300 pounds. You can find one on Amazon for $20. By the time it was all said and done, I think I'm into this saddle for maybe. Now, obviously, this is not including the ropes. This is not including the conducts, but the saddle itself, I think I'm into it for maybe $25. So it's a lot cheaper option. May help you, some of your budget guys. It may help y'all. If you're getting into saddle hunting and not wanting to spend a fortune getting into it, like me. Exactly what I did. I went and got a sit drag. You can either find someone that can sew, or get a sewing machine yourself. Unfortunately, I did kind of burn up my sewing machine making this one just from rookie mistakes. So I've got to get new parts for it. Also, these bags don't just have an opening here. They also have an opening in the front right here, and this is where I keep my bow hoist rope. That's where I keep that. Just let it go. It's 35 feet, so I just let it go. I typically only go about 25 to 30 feet when I climb. But that's pretty much it. And of course, when I'm putting it up, I just do the standard, figure eight. That way it doesn't get itself caught in a knot. But that's my saddle setup. That's what I've got. So let me put this thing up, and then we will get into the meat and potatoes of the story behind Duces. Let me make sure mic's still on. Okay. The little green light. I want to make sure it was still on. This thing's been dead for a while, and I only gave it like a 10-minute charge before I started this episode, so hopefully it doesn't die out on you. Or die out on me, I should say. So, also, let me show y'all sorry, I'm going to move you around a little bit. So, this is my little archery stand, archery area. And then, of course, I've got the bow hanger that I made. Got it up there. It's got the very top up there is a 8-pointer that I got last year. And the one that's holding the bow is a deadhead 7-pointer that I found on the side of the road. Got a picture from a guy at work gave me that picture, so I thought that was really cool. It fit great in here. Then you got the pew safe. I don't know how that stuff goes. That's my little area of the house that the wife let me have to kind of do my hobby. And everything behind me is all her hobbies and her crafting. Her pink toolbox over there has got nothing but crafting stuff in it. That dresser has nothing but crafting stuff. Vinyl, she's got a cry cut machine. She's got her computers, all that kind of stuff back here. So, my daughter transitioned to a different room. She swapped. This used to be her room. Obviously, that's why the walls are pink. Those back walls behind me, unfortunately, they will be staying pink. So anytime you see me doing an episode, I'll have some pink walls behind me. But just knowing that you had that this wall that my stuff is on, that's going to be changing colors. She's going to allow me to have one wall in this room that we're sharing for our hobbies and stuff. So that's what I'll be doing. But without further ado, drum roll. Somebody do a drum roll. Now we are going to get into meat and potatoes behind Duces. So let me grab his rack and show y'all. Okay. So, pretty wide, 6-pointer. Don't be mad at me for how I hung this. I'm just, like I said, I'm cheap. So, but he's a good size 6. He was the biggest out of 4 that came to me on a dead straight line. I was in a real thick area, and I couldn't see him, but about 70 yards away before I could finally see him. And all 4 of them came straight to me. And this one got within shooting range, and he was the biggest out of those 4. And it was my first day this year on public land, so I took him. I did. I ain't gonna lie. I just decided to take him. Let me hang him back up real quick, and then we'll go over that story. Y'all are gonna laugh. Oh, y'all are gonna laugh at this story. Stay up there. Okay. So, October 6th, 4 o'clock in the morning. I'm here at the house getting ready. My closet right over there, getting all my hunting gear on and stuff like that. So I decided I'm running a little bit late. And by the time I wanted to leave the house, I decided I was running a little bit later than I wanted to. So instead of making my coffee here at the house and having my own coffee that I'm used to and that my system is used to, I decided to just leave, and I was going to stop at QT and Quick Trip and grab some coffee on the way in. I did that. Everything was fine. By the time I left QT and got to the parking spot of where I was going to hunt, I finished about 3/4 of the cup of coffee. Not all of it, but enough of it to make me feel good about the morning. I started walking about a mile back, and I got to the 2nd mile, and got to my tree, climbed up, got everything set, got my bow hoisted up there, got it hung up, got my camera hung up, got everything set and ready. Got an arrow knocked, got my release clipped on to the string, ready to go. Well, 5 minutes later, I start to get the the coffee tummy rumbles, I should say. I said, okay, all right, that was just one small little rumble. I'll be okay. I kind of just, I'll be all right. I think I'm good. Well, as I'm sitting there after the first tummy rumble, I'm like, okay. So I'm about to light up a cigarette because, like I said, I smoke in the stand. That's just me. I always have. It's never bothered my hunting before. Of course, now that I say that, it's gonna hurt my hunt every single time. Watch it. Karma's a bitch. But I'm about to light up a cigarette. I got a cigarette in my mouth. I'm reaching for my lighter in my pocket. And I hear walking through the woods. I'm like, really? Already? And at this point, it was about 6:30. Still not enough daylight. And legal hunt light here in Georgia, is 30 minutes before sunrise and 30 minutes after sunset. Well, I still wasn't in that 30-minute window. It was not legal shoot light, and there honestly wasn't enough light. I do have a light on my sight, but it still just was not enough. Here in Georgia, yes, we can run electronic lights on our sights for the pins. But wasn't enough light. I hear the noise. I'm looking down. I can't tell what it was because it was still too dark, but there was a deer directly underneath me. I'm talking, I could have, spit and it hit her in the back or hit him in the back or whatever it was. But you could tell it was definitely a 4-hoofed animal. It wasn't a squirrel. You could hear, the hoof patterns. And so I knew it was a deer. I said, all right, first morning public land hunting this year. I've hunted public land before, but this is my first one this year. I said, all right, First deer already. I've already got movement. That's a good sign. That's a really good sign. I feel like I need to go to the bathroom, but I've already had movement, so I'm not going to jinx it. I'm just going to hold it, and I'll be okay. I kept telling myself, I'll be okay. Well, about that time, I quit hearing the hoofs, and the deer's gone. I get, some thunder rolling, and I'm like, what the hell is that? I heard it, but I didn't feel it. And then I heard and felt the thunder rumble again. It wasn't thunder. This time it was my tummy sounding like Godzilla trying to come out of the daggone water. It got bad. But I'm at the age now, I'm almost 40. I can't really hold it like I used to. So now when I get that feeling, I have to go. I can't hold it. I've got to go. The first one I thought I could hold. The second and third time it rumbled, I knew I couldn't hold it anymore. I just couldn't. So, first hunt in public of the year, and I'm thinking to myself, all right, I've either got to get down and my hunt's over because I've already had action right underneath my tree. Either my hunt's over and I got to get down and go to the bathroom, or I'm going to have to figure out a way to come out of my saddle and still be safe up in the tree and just drop pants and hang it off the edge of my saddle, and hopefully I don't poop on my saddle. Those are my options. And I didn't know what to do. Well, at this point, I've probably talked to myself about 5 minutes trying to figure out what I'm going to do. Thunder starts rolling again, boys. And this time, it was one of those, if I didn't cut these pants off of me, I was not going to get out of them quick enough. And I was trying, I was working my buckle on my harness. I was working my buckle on my pants, and I was about to start, dropping my pants. I lost the race. It didn't work. I ended up shitting all over myself, all down my legs, in my boots. It was god awful. It was horrible. And of course, it wasn't, I just ate a huge steak dinner the night before, nice and hard packed, number two. It was, I just finished a cup of coffee and didn't eat breakfast yet. Water, runny, just that. It was bad. So here I am, hanging 30 feet up in a tree, just shit myself. And I wasn't sure what to do. I text, my buddies in my hunt group that I got, with another podcaster, Eric, and another YouTube guy, Andy, with double A Outdoors. Eric, he's got Southeastern Bowhunter podcast. And then Thor Nichols from Thor, Outdoors with Thor on YouTube. Brock Wingo, from, oh God, what is his name? He just started a new Instagram name. Brock, if you're listening to this, I'm sorry, buddy. I can't remember the name off the top of my head. I know you just started it. I think it's chasing something, or Chase something Productions. And him and his buddy Hunter make some of the best daggone videos I've seen. They do some amazing work. I may have him edit this video. I'm not sure. But anyways, a group of my buddies, and we've been talking in that same, group, on Facebook. We've been talking for about 2 years now, and I love those guys to death. But anyways, I'm texting these guys, and I'm like, I think my hunt's over. And of course, and that's how I left it. I was like, I think my hunt's over. And I get a response from every single one of them respond back. How? Why? What happened? What's going on? I sent him a long text, and I said, I'm man enough to admit this. This is what happened. I shit myself. And I immediately, bing, 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 got the reply, oh my God, no, this can't be happening. Like you just got out there, like what happened? It was just one of those, you had to read the messages. And so I'm telling the guys, like, I don't know what to do. Um, I've got shit running down my leg. I got about an inch worth of shit piled up in my boots. Uh, I smell like a daggone porta john, but this is my first hunt of the year on public, and I'm so excited to be out here. Or I was so excited to be out here. I've already had movement directly underneath me. You know, when I first got set up, 5 minutes after I got set up, I'm so conflicted on what to do. And everybody was telling me that, they're kind of agreeing with me that my hunt was over. Well, I decided to be a man about it and say, fuck it. I'm going to sit in it. I'm already here. It's already all over. I feel better. I don't have to go to the potty anymore. I'm just going to ride it out. So I took my nose down bully buck, the buck pea, and I took that and I covered myself in buck pea. The one time I believe in human cover scent instead of just spraying it, out in the air and letting it travel through and letting the bucks, pick up on the scent that way. I covered myself with it this time. Oh God, horrible mistake. Now, granted, I didn't smell the poop as much, but now I just smelled like buck piss the whole time. And it was just, I couldn't tell if I smelled like a porta potty or if I smelled like, a really pissed off buck in November. I couldn't tell what I smelled like, but it was absolutely horrible. And to the point where I was just, every time the wind would blow south, it just couldn't do it. So it was bad. So of course I lit up a cigarette, tried to help. Maybe that will help cover up the scent as well. I wasn't sure. Guys, I shit y'all not. 10 minutes after I shit myself and sprayed down with buck pea, I had 4 bucks come in on a rope straight to me. I rattled with my rattle bag one time. I said click, 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 click for a couple. And that was it. And I put the bag up. 5 minutes later, I see 4 bucks coming down the ridge and coming straight to him. I finally noticed him about 70 yards out because it was real thick out there. So I saw him kind of moving around. I said, oh my God. I said, there is no way that this is about to happen. So I see him up there on the ridge and they're starting to work their way down. I'm like, all right, they're going to come down the ridge a little bit. And as soon as they pick up wind, they're gone. I know that they're going to be gone. No, they picked up wind because I could see them. The one in the front of the line, because they were directly behind each other coming down the ridge. The one in the front of the line started, licking up and all this other kind of stuff. And then he turned and came straight at me. Just straight at me. I said, you've got to be kidding me. So another reason I love this saddle platform is this right here. So he came down straight at me, but he was coming to my right side. I'm a right-handed shooter. So my strong side is anything to the left of the tree and around. That's my strong side. They were on my right-hand side coming down. As he was coming down, he got behind another big old tree. And because I'm 30 feet up and down there where I was, it's a straight ravine. I was up on the top of the ridge, or in the middle of the ridge, really. He was up above me on the ridge coming down. Well, he finally got down below me here on my right-hand side, but there was another tree, and it was just one of those little juvenile trees. So I was actually above the canopy of that tree. So he got down right below the branches, and I finally had enough time to grab my bow and put my heel in that round part of that platform I showed y'all and turn completely around to this side to where I could get a shot off. I love that platform. On a little bitty platform, you can do it, but it's just not as easy and not as comfortable as it is with this thing here, because it's 19 inches wide, 11 inches deep. You can dance on that thing and not have a problem. So I'm turned around. I'm at full draw. And as I'm at full draw, I'm still looking up the ridge because the other 3 are still up the ridge a little bit. He's just the one that came down. So I'm looking up at the other three as I'm full draw. I'm looking up at the other three to make sure they're not going to bust me from going, making more movement going full draw. They're not paying me attention at all. They don't even see me. Well, I see them, and they're actually they're it's like a little what's left. I mean, I know it was October, but it was still what was left of like a small young bachelor group, because I know he's young. Being 14 and 7/8 wide, 6 point. I know he's still young, but the other three were definitely younger. They were just little forks. So I said, okay, he's the biggest out of the group. I'm definitely going to take him. Which is another thing I thought was kind of weird was typically if they're still in a group, even on camera, like on my private spot, the bigger buck will always come in last, from what I've seen. Now, for some reason, he came in first. The younger bucks were behind him, but whatever. The deer are going to do what deer are going to do. Anyways, he got down to 27 yards, and I let it go, and it went straight through. Heart punched him. He mule kicked and ran about 10 yards, and then piled up. So he fell in sight. I think I ranged his dead body at 35 yards from the tree. So he only made it 10, 15 yards from when I shot him. But perfect broadside shot. I was using I'm a mechanical guy. I was using the G5 T2 broadheads. John Dudley, guys at G5, y'all figured out that head. I love that head. So it did the job. Blood trail out the ass. Even though I didn't need to see it, the blood trail, I could see the dead deer right there at 35 yards. So it did the job. But that's why. And one of my buddies, Brock Wingo, he's the one in my group. He's the one that told me I've got, whether I do a Euro mount, skull cap mount, shoulder mount, whatever kind of mount I got to do, I got to mount that deer. And I did a skull cap, but I was like, and I asked him, I said, why do you think I want to mount a 6-pointer? A little 74 and 4/8 6-pointer. Why do you think I want to mount it? Well, just for that right there, that story behind that deer, that his name is Duces now, and now y'all know why. But the story behind that deer, I don't know if y'all know anybody, or maybe if yourself will be able to have a story like that, but that's the first time I had a story like that. And it was by far one of my best hunting stories, just for the comedic side of it. That is hilarious. Being able to, the best cover scent out there, okay? Shit yourself, spray yourself down with buck pee, rattle a little bit with a rattle bag, and you'll be good to go. You'll get the deer, I promise you. But there was no way that it was unreal. And the funniest thing was about that whole situation is I'm gagging myself out, with the smell. I shoot the deer. And then of course I text everybody in the group. I said, buck down. And you could hear, even though it was a text, you could hear a pin drop on my phone there for about maybe 30 seconds. And then it was just ding, 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 ding. Like, no way. There's no way that worked. I can't believe you did it. I can't believe that actually happened. And that's the way that I still feel to this day, that I don't believe it happened. I'm dreaming that happened, but it happened. And I took him home. I cleaned him up. I skinned him out. I processed my own meat. And I ate, some backstrap off of him that night. So it was a shitty situation and a shitty story, but it had a good ending because I got me some meat out of it and I got to fill the freezer. But that was just one of those things that, it was too good not to share. And for Ella March Outdoors to be coming back, I figured that one of my best hunting stories was one of the best ways to get it to come in and to bring in Ella March Outdoors podcast. So that is basically episode 1 in a wrap. We've gone over my hunting gear. We've gone over my saddle. We've gone over my platform. We've gone over the bow. I did kind of touch on my arrow setup a little bit, but I'm running, as far as like specs, I know everybody likes to know what everybody's running. I am at 65 pounds. I do have a torn rotator cuff from last year, and so I was shooting a 75-pound bow, but I ended up tearing my rotator cuff during competition. So I'm back down to a 65-pound bow, but I'm still running a 460 grain arrow with 17% FOC, and I haven't shot anything that has not passed through yet. I passed through every single one that I've shot. So my setup works, and it works for me. But yeah, that's pretty much episode 1. We've gone over my gear, gone over my stuff, gone over the story of Duces. Talked about some of the guys in my group that I chat with every day. We'll have them on as a guest. I'm lining up some other guests, some special guests. We'll be getting into more stuff like that. We'll be doing more videos and podcasts. I may, if I have the time to, some of y'all may know or may not know, I'm a lineman, so I'm always on call, always have to be ready to go. That's why I still got my orange shirt on, because I'm ready to go tonight if I get a call. I'm going to try and do like a nightly, maybe every day, or 2 a week, 3 a week, 1 a week if I'm real busy. But I'm going to try and keep this going as much as I can. Yeah, that's pretty much it for episode 1. And again, Elevarch Outdoors, we're out. We appreciate it, and make sure y'all go give us a listen and follow us on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook if you're already not. YouTube is Elevarch Outdoors as well. Make sure you go like and subscribe on that. And guys, that's it. But that's Duces. We'll see y'all.